Welcome to Clear the Air with Citisense, our show where the public meets the expert. So, how does this work? We have an expert and the public advocate sit side by side to battle out key transport misconceptions and key topics. We will start off with a true or false from our stats or trap deck. The first person to press the buzzer and answer the question correctly gets to start off the debate. They will select a question we have received from the public, from the box, to kick it off. You can let us know who you think wins the overall debate in the comments. Let's go meet the experts. Let's get started with the first stat or trap. So, true or false, emergency response times are harmed by LTNs?
Usually false, depends on the execution.
Jasper, you are correct. You can start off the debate. Pick out a ball, please.
Exciting.
I'm interested to see what this is.
Can't wait. So, aren't LTNs just traffic pushers? They make boundary roads worse to make side streets feel nicer.
Okay, so if you want to start, Jasper, on that one.
Sure. So, I think the key thing to consider with low traffic neighbourhoods is that they don't generate any extra traffic. All they can do is restrict which cars take which routes through a side street area, through usually a residential area, trying to reduce the traffic inside that zone. Any traffic that may change its journey onto a boundary road that didn't previously will have started or finished on a boundary road. It will just simply be cutting through the low traffic neighbourhood for a small portion of that journey. There are no new trips generated.
Okay, so for someone like me who, I don't live near an LTN, but I live near quite a busy road.
Yep.
So for someone like myself, how would I be affected by an LTN?
So the route that you take may be slightly different. If, for example, you travel through a residential area to avoid traffic lights at a junction, you may now be forced to go through those lights rather than take the quieter street. But then that's at the opportunity cost of people who live in that area, which isn't designed for cars, having fewer cars travel down those narrow streets.
So I'm aware a lot of people's complaints about LTNs are the fact that they are travel pushers. And I know you said it's false, but
yeah,
why are people complaining about that? What is the actual root cause of that issue? When we're putting LTNs in place, why are then people complaining about pushing traffic?
So whilst the amount of cars on a road won't change, people's routes may change. So you may have to take a slightly longer route. You will be sitting on that undesirable road, on the road that you're trying to avoid. You'll now be exposed to that traffic that you weren't previously exposed to. So even though the cars were always there or may still be there, you weren't aware of them. So you feel like there's now more traffic on that road.
So what do people benefit from living in a no traffic neighbourhood?
So quieter streets is the main thing. Road safety increased massively from having fewer vehicles. With the increased road safety, you're more likely to walk, you're more likely to cycle, so you can get the health, physical and mental benefits from that as well.
So it's kind of benefiting what you'd call active travel. So more people getting the train, more people cycling, more people trying to encourage healthy habits.
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of showing people that these modes of transport, that active travel is feasible when the roads are safe to do so.
Okay, that's really interesting. Lily, do you want to start us off with our second stat, please?
So our second stat, true or false, road injuries dropped by 35% inside LTNs?
I think that's false. I think they increase road injuries because you're pushing traffic elsewhere, I think.
Well, Josh, you are incorrect. A study in 2012-2024 found out that road injuries were dropped by 35% and deaths were dropped by 37%.
Okay. Jasper, you've won that again.
Great.
So it's you to start again.
Thank you very much. Let's see what's inside. So if a borough wants quieter, safer streets, is an LTN better value than 20-mile-an-hour limits, speed humps, or extra crossings? Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
So one thing that people often get caught up in is thinking that a low traffic neighbourhood is the end goal, is that putting the modal filters in which restrict the traffic that can enter or pass through a point in a zone, thinking that that's the objective. A low traffic neighborhood is just a fancy word for a traffic management program. So LTNs are a tool to achieve some of the same things as 20-mile-an-hour zones, traffic calming, speed bumps, and things like that. So the benefit from that really is that you can consider them to be a full suite. So within a low traffic neighborhood, you can add all of these things in as well. You can also add them onto boundary roads if there are existing concerns or new concerns about speeding or dangerous driving or poor driver behavior or anything like that. So it's kind of a tool that can be used with everything.
Okay, so if we're talking about something like speed bumps, is there anything in place for, say, damage on cars? Is that a no?
No.
I've caught you out there, Jasper.
Yeah,
but then I guess, again, public pushback you get a lot is the fact that speed bumps cause trouble in that kind of way. And also, you still have the people that then go way too fast, even over speed bumps.
Definitely,
and what would you say is the kind of procedure in stopping that?
So speed bumps are an example of traffic calming, that these are things to reduce speed. You can do this in loads of really cool creative ways. It can be planting to provide a vertical deflection so you can't just see straight down a straight road. It can be kind of forming S's. It can be a whole suite of things. These also, so doing more kind of inventive things can also have the benefit that they make it a nicer place to live, because if you have more greening, if the roads are more windy, then it feels less like just kind of a gridiron, straight roads, racetrack place.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of the same as low traffic neighborhoods. They can be a tool to achieve a load of different objectives.
Okay, your last stat or trap question. Studies show there's a 20% increase in retail spending inside LTNs.
True.
Yes, it is true,
Yes.
Jasper. The fact is correct.
Excellent.
Jasper, it's you again.
You know what? I'll let you pick one this time.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your courtesy.
You're welcome.
Right, I don't know how I'm going to start this. We'll give it a go. Disabled residents and carers say filters make essential trips harder. What practical fixes exist, exemptions, blue badge access, without undermining the scheme?
So I think
It's more of a question for you
Yeah.
than anything.
cheers. So yeah, I think the crucial part of that is without diluting the effects of the scheme. So some areas will implement something similar to a low traffic neighborhood, but it essentially won't be because there'll be full residential access. This limits through traffic, but then doesn't have any of the benefits of enticing active travel for residents in the area or creating the quieter, safer streets that you want from a low traffic neighborhood. Some boroughs, and something that I'm working on at the moment, is an exemption scheme for blue badge holders. So you can make this work in a way that doesn't just enable everybody with a blue badge to be able to drive through and limit it to essential trips only. Because if we're trying to kind of incentivize active travel and walking and wheeling and cycling and things like that, not everybody can do that. And we don't want to penalise anybody because they can't do something that the council wants to promote. So yeah, there's a load of different ways of doing this. It can be through number plates, it can be through a board on a council who will talk to people and process each exemption through that. But yeah, there are loads of ways to do it.
So without mentioning the councils, or if you can mention the projects you've worked on, but what would you say in terms of LTNs, what are you, say, most proud of when you work on them, and the feedback that you've got that can be positive or negative, and that maybe that you've improved over time? Yeah,
definitely. I think what's really good is when people challenge us, because that's really useful and it's really productive when people come to us and say, what about this scenario? What about this situation? And then we can kind of explain what the benefits that we want to promote are, and also how they can be implemented. Sometimes it can be confusing if something's brand new and you've never heard of an LTN before, because we work in transport, we hear phrases like that all the time. So yeah, I think the kind of constructive conversations and education that we can offer is really, really useful and really productive.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time today, Jasper, and I feel like I've learned a fair amount about LTNs. So if we round it off there, I just want to say thank you to Lily for being behind the camera today and giving us those questions. But yeah, we'll see you next month. Appreciate you coming on to Clear the Air.
Cheers, thank you very much. Happy to be here.